Welcome to this edition of 5 Talk Street. I'm Samantha Chapman. Now, many of us don't think about how important it is to dispose of household drugs safely, but my next guests are here to tell us about an important campaign that addresses just that issue. Dr. Monica Mo Anderson is a dentist, author, and the founder of Drop the Drugs. And Chief Steve Dye is the Chief of Police and Deputy City Manager of Grand Prairie. You all, thank you so much for joining us. Mo, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Drop the Drugs campaign?
I'm happy to. Drop the Drugs, I'm very excited about, I have to say. It's a prevention education campaign. We've all heard a lot about the opioid crisis and sometimes probably feel a little paralyzed, like what can I do? But this is something that we can do on a local level, because though we've heard about that crisis, I don't think a lot of people know that 60,000 kids a year, children 4 and under, are rushed to the emergency room because of poisoning, getting into their parents' medication. And the largest percentage of teens who report abusing drugs are getting prescription drugs from parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. So what we can do is decrease access. Our goal is to teach citizens to securely store their drugs out of reach, out of sight, and then to safely dispose of leftover, unused, expired drugs.
So is this a situation where parents are just kind of leaving their pill bottles in, places where it's easy for kids to reach, or possibly their teens know exactly where to go? Is that kind of what we're seeing?
Absolutely. Yes, they leave them. I mean, they're on the kitchen counter because we want it visible to remind us, I need to take my medication. Well, that convenience also presents dangers. We've got little kids who like to experiment. They open things. Sometimes we tell them, oh, here, take your medicine. It's like candy, which is something you should never do. Teens are experimenting, trying things. They may be selling them on the streets. So it's important that we keep an inventory on them of our drugs, prescription and over the counter, and that we secure them and dispose of them safely when we don't need them, as you mentioned.
Now, Chief Dye, your city, you all have been, a part of, this campaign since January. The campaign is new, but you all for several years now have been working to fight this. Kind of talk about how you all are now kind of relaunching this campaign in the city and what this partnership means to you.
Absolutely. So I'm proud to say we were one of the first police departments in the country to launch a medication disposal program where you can drop your drugs 7 days a week at the Grand Prairie Police Department. Several months ago, we were approached by Dr. Anderson, and I was so delighted to hear from her, because one of our big components of our philosophy at GPPD is community policing, really partnering with our stakeholders as a force multiplier to increase the trust in the community, which really results in a better quality of life and lower crime. So when Dr. Anderson and I spoke, I appreciated her enthusiasm, trying to keep our city safer, our environment cleaner, and it was a natural marriage. So now that we've joined forces, and I'll let Dr. Anderson talk about the results, we've seen a significant increase in the number of drugs that have been disposed at our police station, because I think it goes to show that when you partner with your community stakeholders, you get that more pervasive word out there that these resources like the Drop the Drugs program are available.
Now, there may be people out there who, they have, a Ziploc bag of bottles, but they're like, I just don't feel like dropping it off at the police station. I'd much rather throw it down the toilet or in the trash can. Why is it so important for them to get up and make that move to properly dispose of household drugs?
Well, it's a danger to those who are in your home and those who have access to your home. You need to know what's in your house. You need to take inventory of that. You need to have conversations with your children about how to properly use these medications. Help administer those medications to your children that may be on them. Know what your house guests have in your home. And as soon as they're no longer needed, it's not just at the police department. You can go by Walgreens, CVS. You can do it by mail. There's a lot of opportunities to drop those drugs.
Now, Mo, tell me about the results. The chief talked about it. He touched on it a bit, but tell me about the results that you all are seeing.
The results have been tremendous. You know about the DEA Take Back Day. Most people do, and that's the only time they really think about taking their drugs back is in September and in April of every year. Well, last September, the Grand Prairie Police Department, with their ongoing police program, they collected a little over 300 pounds of drugs. And when you think about what a pill must weigh, Samantha, that is very significant. Wow. However, we started our coalition, our campaign. We have a prevention education handout. I've been out speaking to different groups. We have our website. We have Facebook and Twitter. And I'm happy to report that in April, per the DEA, they collected 920 pounds of drugs, almost triple the previous take-back.
Wow, that is
wow,
tremendous.
right.
You all are doing great work in the city and throughout North Texas, because many people will see this.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. And if you would like to learn more about the Drop the Drugs campaign, visit dropthedrugs.org. Now don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more of 5 Talk Street.